if it's not working on text, man, it can't work when you're sitting there and you're feeling the heat. It really can't work. So your text game has to be on point.
This is Love Bites.
Right. In the flirting stage, that's where you actually make it or break it. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys the 3 tips that you need to know in order to up your texting game, right? So you met a girl, she's a beautiful girl, you love her, maybe it was love at first sight, you want to keep her, right? So these texts are going to be helping you to make it work out, right? So yeah, man, let's roll the intro.
You watching Love Bites. Welcome to Love Bites. This is Love Bites. Alright. This is Love Bites.
As you all know, this is the Love Bites, right? So let's get into the 3 tips that are going to be helping you to up your love game or your texting game, whatever that you want to call it, right? Tip number 1, ask open-ended questions, not just text that will actually get you a yes or no answer. Those kind of texts, they're actually kind of boring. And from that point, if it's your first text, man, it will actually just give bad vibes to the person that you're texting, because they'll end up thinking, you know what? This is gonna be a bad conversation and I don't really want to engage in it. So your text have to be engaging, and you really need to just make sure that like you kill it at the first go, right? So yeah, man, make sure that your texts are open-ended, meaning that like they create an open environment for conversations. Like, you don't just want to say hi and put a full stop. I mean, come on. But if you be like, yo, what up, shorty? What are you doing today? I don't say shorty, right? So, but you know what I'm talking about. If you be like, yo, what up, girl? What are you doing today, man? You know what? I was doing a couple of things. I thought maybe I can check up on you. And man, you know what? Maybe if you're not really busy today, bro, I was thinking we can maybe hang out, right? So, and when you're texting, create conversation. Don't just text like a robot. Second tip, when you're texting someone, your potential lover, or potential girl, or a potential boyfriend, whatever, don't text or ask questions that makes you seem like you are an interviewer. No one, those questions that like you're always asking questions. You're asking questions like you interview me, like this is a job post or something like that. Right. So they kind of boring, man. Like, ask questions in a more appealing way. Hey, how you doing? What's your name? Where you from? What do you love? What are your hobbies? What the heck is that? Don't do that. Don't do that. That's boring as heck. Right. It's like you're interviewing the person. If I'm texting a girl that I just met, and then I'll be like, hey, how you doing? She'd be like, okay, hey, yo, bro, cause it's the first text, how you doing? It's fine. She'll be like, yo, I'm cool, bro. What up? Right. So that's cool. And I start by like, you know what? I'm like, yo, I just met you. I got your numbers. I didn't even get your name. So what's your name? And then she'd be like, yo, my name is Shorty, right? And then I'm like, what do you do? She'd be like, I'm in my, last year in college, or maybe I've just started working. And I'd be like, okay, so what are your hobbies? Like, come on, that's a dead conversation. It's a dead conversation, man. Spice it up, right? Just make it a little bit interesting. Like, yo, shorty, how you doing, bro? This is Joe, man. I met you in the park today. And then I got your numbers. I even forgot to even ask your name. By the way, what's your name, man? Because I was actually in a rush. And she'd be like, yo, man, my name is Shorty. I'm like, wow, man, that's a nice name, bro. I mean, where did you get that name, bro? She'd be like, nah, man, I got it from my dad, my mom, all of those things. I'm like, yo, bro, that's actually interesting. You know what? I didn't want to waste time, man. I just had like a little bit of time now to be, to text you and holler at you, man. You know what? Like, I know you might be busy at the moment, but otherwise, man, we're just saying hi, and then I'm gonna really make enough time in the noons. Do you prefer me to call you, or should you just keep it on the text for now? And then, you add a little bit of an emoji there, right? Which is the third tip. So you do that to create like a cool, vibey environment that makes the other person to be interesting. And then you're giving some little hints of what kind of person you are in that kind of a conversation, right? Because from that chat that I just said, you actually gave few points. You actually gave a point that, you thought about her. You took a number, you were in a rush, you thought about her, and that's why you texted. Then the other things are like, hey, you are a little bit busy, but you can create time and, communicate with her, right? The other thing that you actually convey there, which is very important, is that like you are a busy person, right? Because women like people who actually are hands-on or are doing something in their life. Because if you're doing something, clearly, if you have things going on in your life, it means, you're making something. And then women, they actually like people who actually go out there and make things happen, right? So if you are a busy man, they're thinking that you're killing it. And if you're killing it, then yeah, man, they will stick around, because they love all the good stuff. The third tip is gonna be like, when you're texting a person, you need to make it feel like you're connecting with that person. You need to make it feel like you are with that person and you're talking live, right? So it includes some emojis, right? Some people, they misinterpret text. So you need to include emojis, not a lot of them. Because if you do like, if you put a lot of emojis in a conversation, it's gonna be like you're a clown. But you need to use them in a more matured way, if I can put it like that. Use emojis in a more matured way until you are at a point whereby you all are both comfortable, right? So if she never sends you an emoji, and then maybe you start like sending a cool emoji after a nice little text, then it gives her the impression that, okay, cool, maybe you're a fun guy too, maybe your statement might have read differently without the emoji, but now since you've added like a little wink emoji at the end of a conversation and stuff like that, then it gives that text a little bit of something for her to think about, an expression that she will maybe read it differently than if it didn't have an emoji, right? So use those kind of tools to actually help you get your message across, because it's all about communication. If someone feels connected to you through text, right, it will be easier for you to actually ask them on a date. So there you have it, guys. Those are your 3 tips that will actually help you up your texting game, man. I'm gonna summarize it again. As I said, guys, tip number 1, make sure that like you actually having open-ended conversation. You need to create that kind of environment by the questions that you ask, by the text that you're sending, right? So if you're just sending a hi text to a girl, she's gonna just say hi. She's gonna say hi like back to you, because she at the moment she might not be interested in you. And then if you have intentions of probably making her your girlfriend, you need to put a little bit more effort. Like, yo, bro, or hey, girl, what's up? What's keeping you busy, right? What's keeping you busy today? Ask questions that will force the next person to respond with something that will push the conversation, not a yes or a no. If you say, are you good? Yes, I'm good. Right. But if you're phrasing it like, yo, man, how you feeling today? It's a complete different thing. And then the answer that you're going to get there will actually push the conversation further and further. Unlike if you say, are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. So what? I mean, if someone says, how you feeling today? You can't say yes. You can't say no. It's going to sound dumb as a response, right? So you are forced, as a lady, you are forced to say something interesting or something sad, which will push the next question, which will actually help that guy to ask more interesting stuff. And at the end of the day, it will be a very nice conversation. But if you're like, yo, are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. And then that's a boring thing. All right, cool. So ask questions in a way that they will, in a way that they will help your conversation flow, or progress it. So tip number 2, don't ask questions like you are an interviewer, right? Hey, what's your name? What do you do? Where do you live? Where are you from? Which language do you speak? No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's boring. That's boring. No, I mean, bruh, even me saying that, I feel like I'm lame, right? So don't do that. Be cool about it. Construct sentences that are more interesting and engaging, man. Let me think of a proper way to put it. Let's say you met this guy. Okay, let's say you met this guy or a girl, right? At the restaurant or something like that, right? So yeah, you can basically, and then you manage to get her numbers. You'll be like, yo, hey girl, what's up, man? How you feeling today? And then she'd be like, I'm feeling cool, man. And then you'd be like, yo, you know what, like, I know I got your numbers in a rush. I was a little bit in a rush, and I didn't want to disturb your time with, like, your family and stuff like that. But man, you know what, bro, I did what I had to do. I got your numbers, but since I'm here, man, I really just thought maybe I could just say hi to you, check up on you, right? Because I'm actually in the middle of something. And then, yeah, man, I thought I could just say that before I get consumed in other things. But later on, I'm going to have a little bit of time, right? And I'm thinking of giving you a call, or I'm thinking of continuing this kind of conversation because it's going to be interesting, Why would you want to continue a conversation, bro? Because I really like you, right? Not in a bad way, though. In a way that I really want to understand the type of person you are, right? So you don't, like, you make it interesting and you make the other person think about you. You're making the other person to, blush a little bit. First of all, you gave it the hints that you are a working man, like you're a businessman or a businessman, whatever the case is. You have things that you want to take care of. And women love movement. So if in your life there's a little bit of movement, it means that, like, you know what? You are out there trying to make things happen, and that's a turn on for a lot of women and a lot of girls and a lot of people, because it shows that you are alive. And then the second thing that you conveyed in that conversation is that, like, you know what, you thought about her and you thought about texting her, right? Which is very important because women and any other person, they want to be remembered. They want to feel like someone out there is thinking about them. I mean, they walked out of their place with the nice dress, makeup, or whatever, just to look good and feel good. And they need to know that someone noticed. And if you notice that and it actually stuck in your mind, then they did a great job. So if you actually giving them that sense, then they feel good about themselves. Right. So yeah, that's for a different complete topic. But yeah, man, create compelling conversations. So, and give value in your conversation. So in the conversation that I just said, there are like little pointers that are actually making you a valuable person and a person worth their time. Tip number 3 is that, like, you need to be texting like you're having a one-on-one conversation with a person, right? Because if the person can be able to connect with you via text, it's going to be easier for them to be like, yo, okay, cool. The day that you were actually proposing, I'm down for it. Because now they feel that connection. If there is no connection, then they like, it's going to be awkward if your guys are sitting there on the table trying to, make it work. If it's not working on text, man, it can't work when you're sitting there and you're feeling the heat. It really can't work. So your text game has to be on point. If that game is on point, man, and she's sending you all those kind of emojis, man, laughing and lolling and doing all those type of things, man, know that you are on fire, bro. Know that you have your bruh, you are lit, right? And anything that you ask, most of the time, she will gladly do because she enjoys your company, right? Right. She enjoys your company because you actually used what's working. Asking open-ended questions, showing interest in her, and giving a little bit of value as to the person that you are. And giving her a little bit of hints. Not flashing. Don't flash. Don't flash, bro. Girls don't... some girls. But most girls, they don't like guys who shows off. But guys, as a guy, you need to show off. You need to show off in a good way.
Follow us on Twitter and spread some love. _Mzansi, both on TikTok and Instagram. Catch the vibes on YouTube and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to become part of the Love Bites community. Stay tuned. This is Love Bites.